Uruk ever again.
The Númenóreans set their minds to making a man fly. But when they figured out a device that could do it, they decided they weren't impressed enough with themselves. So they set about improving on it. How could a people who soar like birds fall so far that there's hardly any trace of them left?
I can't wait to see what the dwarf does with this. Or maybe I can.
Generous with the grog. Before he gets away!
Handle this bit of kit carefully. Enemies who stood against Númenórean weapons didn't stand for long. And the ones who survived the first cut quickly came to wish they hadn't. Poison tends to bring that out in people. That and their guts, as they puke themselves to death.
I suppose I should get this back to Torvin. See what new torments he can inflict on me with it.
The Númenóreans' new defense meant more than cowering behind some bulwark. While the enemy's trying to wear your strength down, you've got to build it up. No idea how this works. It's to do with storing and unleashing energy or something. Just mind you stay on the right side of it.
This technology is fascinating. If I knew what it did, I'm sure I'd be horrified.
It's an age-old quandary in battle. How'd you close the distance to your enemy? Well, the Númenóreans, true to form, solved this problem with a novel approach. Instead of making your way to your opponent, bring him to you, and then smack him. Goes without saying.
These Númenóreans were either brilliant or diabolical. And actually, it needn't be one or the other.
Just as important as strength are stealth and speed. If you're invisible, there's no defense. If you're silent, there's no call for help. Reckon no one mastered this better than the Númenóreans. No one's seen or heard them in ages.
Torvin should be able to use this to make my gear more deadly. Whether to me or the orcs remains to be seen.
The Númenóreans possessed wisdom far superior to any we have today. Shame that, in the end, it wasn't enough to save them. But it does fascinate me how they created a device to aid in climbing, and later upgraded it to knock loads of people down. If it were me, I'd have done it the other way round.
This should prove useful. Or it could be broken and worthless. I suppose I'd have no way of knowing.
Grip it like you mean it.
Countering enemies is great. What's even better is stopping them dead. And I do mean dead. The Númenóreans knew that by using your opponent's momentum against him, you turn his opening strike into your killing blow.
This thing looks like it could be a real lifesaver. Or life taker. I honestly have no idea.
Far more room inside one of them than there is in a catacomb. I suppose it was my imagination. Lay on your I kill. Speak the truth. One swallow less a means.
The soldiers of this ancient empire wielded the mightiest blades, the most powerful bows. But, as in most things, they weren't satisfied there. They devised clever ways to burn their enemies, to terrify and sow chaos among them. Any craftsman pours his strength and wit into his creations. To that, the Númenóreans added madness. Oh! And fire.
They wouldn't be so soft and weak.
I can't imagine what function this device could possibly have. But I suppose that's part of the fun.
When the Númenóreans' doom finally came, their fires were soon extinguished. Something to do with a flood, I believe. Well, I don't see any water out here. So let's see how hot we can make this thing burn. The idea with this is it incinerates your enemies at the same time you're knocking them back. My kind of idea.
Reckon I should take this to Torvin and put my faith in him. After all, his work lets me leap off cliffs. When you say that out loud...
Going to be another sandstorm soon. I can taste it. Maybe I'm tasting the last one. Ah! Told you where to look, didn't I? Now you'll have some fun, lad.